Hello, everybody. I'm Paul Ryden. To most new parents, their little bundle of joy is just that, a joy that they just can't get enough of. Now, suppose you found as a child that you weren't the source of happiness you thought you should be. Instead, your family became your enemy. Well, that's the story Linet Onduso tells in her new book, Darkness to Light, 1 Peter 2:9. Welcome, Lynette, from Seattle, Washington today.
Thank you, Paul. It's nice to meet you.
Your book gets right into it. You had a rough beginning to your life, no question about it. Right in the introduction, you talk about what your childhood was like. What was it like?
Uh, to be honest, I thought I was the black sheep of the family. I felt I was unloved and I was not accepted by anyone, or I didn't fit in completely. I
Mhm.
felt like I was the talk of everything bad that happened, the bad apple. And I saw it because most of the time, a lot of people didn't want to mingle with me, or a lot of parents did not approve their children to mingle with me at all.
Why is that? Did you have any siblings?
I did have siblings, two brothers that I
Older?
grew up with are younger. I
Younger?
am the oldest,
You are the
yes.
oldest. Okay, so it seems to me, a first child, that would be just such a blessing. And yet you were treated that way, like the black sheep, as you said. Why do you suppose that was? Certainly nothing
Uh,
you did.
yeah, to be honest, I will say by then I didn't know it, but now on the salvation side, and I understand that Satan kind of used that, or he filled my thoughts with I am not loved, nobody wants me, so that I my character was literally rebellious,
Mhm.
and the things that I were doing, they were not things that any parent will be proud of. And so I think my character is what made them treat me the way they treated me, more so because I would steal here and there just to, uh, bribe friendship and all that. And I think them seeing that it's not me that they didn't like, but it was my character
But there
that,
must have been something that made you become rebellious. Was there something that you didn't feel loved or whatever it was? What was it
yes,
that made you become rebellious?
I felt like I was never loved. I felt like my family loved my brothers more than they loved me. I felt like everything and anything I did, no matter what I did, it wasn't enough. I was still the blame. Somebody else does it, so I am the blame. And that's how I grew up, knowing I am not loved, I am not wanted.
Hmm.
I tried to run away. I became a runaway child, and I would go to my family members, like my aunt, and they would still like flog me and send me back to my mom, where she would flog me again.
Oh,
And it was just a merry-go-round cycle thing.
what form of rebellion did your rebellion take? I mean, what were you doing that caused such, problems? How were you as a I mean, some kids, they shoplift or they I don't know, do any number of things. What were you doing that caused such grief around the family?
Um,
Or how did you,
Running away.
no, better yet, the better question is not because it wasn't your fault that you were
Mhm.
not loved. It wasn't anything you did because parents are supposed to love their children unconditionally,
Correct.
regardless. But what in their minds were you doing that was so bad? And how did you then act out as a result of their mistrust of you?
They believed I wasn't honest enough. So no matter what I said, they believed I lied a lot.
Mhm.
Um, I was a thief. I used to steal here and there. So that kind of made them not trust me in anything at all. Most of that stuff was my brothers were the good kids,
Yeah.
and I was the on the other side. And the result of that, I chose this is not the home I want to be in. So I chose being out there with strangers than being in my own home, because it just felt like I was contained, like I was a slave,
Mhm.
like I was in a place where I wasn't wanted at all.
How did your brothers treat you?
My second, our second born brother was kind of mama's boy.
Mhm.
So he was more on my mom's side. He felt like I was putting my mom through a lot,
Mhm.
that she was depressed, and going through a lot of stress because of me. So, of course, he sided with my mom into I don't deserve, that kind of love. So as a matter of fact, me and my brothers, we never, me and my second born brother, we never got along. We just got started getting along as adults with families, but we never got along then. We were enemies, literally.
Mhm. What did your mom do to combat your teenage rebelliousness? I know you mentioned flogging, but what the things that I read in your introduction were just horrendous. Tell us about
Yeah.
some of the things that they put you through in order to try to correct you.
So as any parent, my mom thought, I was demonized, I was witched. So she tried to seek out all resources in her way to help me out. She didn't know what was going on with me. And back then, coming from such a background, if you go to witchcraft or witch doctors and they tell you that I am possessed or I am demonized, they of course they have certain demands that they want from you. And my mom tried to follow all those things, like, bring chicken for sacrifice, give me bottles and bottles of herbal medicine, be up at 3 a.m. in the morning, trying to practice what they have told us to make me be a normal child.
And they cut your tongue.
My tongue, my head, on top of my head, my like literally anywhere and everywhere. And they would put some herbal black medicine on the wound. I know I have one wound near my belly that got really infectious because of it. But for them, it justifies their treating you.
Yeah. Well, as
Yeah.
a mom yourself, is there something in you that sort of understands where your mom was coming from, even though she went about it the wrong way?
Yes, absolutely. I have a daughter, and I will do anything and everything to seek answers of what's going on. It's just that sometimes I think she became desperate, and she wanted her daughter back,
Mhm.
a daughter that she gave birth to, a daughter that she knew, and she wasn't finding that. So she went above and beyond to do anything and everything possible to have a normal child.
Mhm.
But the more she sought answers, the more she kept pushing me away, because I knew that wasn't the problem, and I knew those were not the answers. In me, I knew the answers I was looking for. I was looking for love. I was looking for attention. I was looking for I love you. And so now, as a mom, I try to remind my kids every day, I love you. I
Mhm.
don't, I never want you to underestimate the love. But that's not what I got when I was growing up. I
Yeah.
didn't get hugs. I didn't get I love you. So I didn't really believe in love at all.
Hmm. Did you ever reconcile with your mom?
Yes, she is my best friend
Oh,
right
you're
now.
kidding,
We
really?
no, we talk every day. She's right next to my heart, because once I got saved, I learned love and forgiveness the hard way.
Hmm.
And I put myself in her shoes of what I will do if that is my child. Yet, even though she didn't know everything that I went through, because at that time she was never ready to listen, and I wouldn't approach her and tell her that I am going through this or this has been done to me. But I don't hold that against her at all. I see it as desperation of a mother who's willing to go above and beyond for the sake of a child. So I forgave her, and I love her dearly for trying. She tried. And I believe it's her prayers that have kept me alive till now.
Yeah. How did you find an escape from your situation?
To be honest, I tried everything. I tried therapy. I tried talking to people, but a wake-up call came when I was in a domestic violence relationship, and it cost me a little bit of everything that I had. My abuser claimed that he was the victim, claimed that I stabbed him, and it ended up landing me in jail for a few days. And when I was in jail, it was kind of a wake-up call. I just didn't believe that's who I was meant to be. I didn't want to come to the reality of my children visiting me in jail in an orange suit. I didn't believe in the fact that I have to start making phone calls to talk to my children because they were so very young. And so I felt very humiliated
Mm-hmm.
because at the time that I was arrested, um, I was only 80 pounds. You could
Yeah.
literally count every single bone on my body. And so having to undress in front of the police lady and the policeman, for them having to search me, and all I know is that they are seeing bones, whatever that was going on in their head, to me, it was a humiliation
Mm-hmm.
because there was nobody for anyone to see, really. That was a skeleton in form of flesh. And that kind of, I walked with that. I was in jail for 4 days, and those 4 days I never ate. But Monday was a holiday, so we couldn't go to court. Come Monday night, it was kind of a sense of, okay, I am all alone. Even my family can't get me out of this situation. I have nobody, but God, I have heard about you. I've heard about Moses. I have heard about David. And so I don't know how to pray, but I'm going to say this. If you take me out of this mess, I will serve you for the rest of my life, no looking back. And to be honest, the next day when we went to court, the judge said, I can go home, no bail posted, and the case can continue. And it was a wake-up call. It was, so there is a God, and he
Mm-hmm.
hears prayers, and he answers prayers. And since you kept your end of bargain, guess what? I'm going to keep my end of bargain. I am going to serve you. And leaving that place, I remember I did the sinner's prayer on YouTube with Joel Austin, but
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't enough for me. That it didn't seem, it's only supposed to be that simple on my end. I felt like there was more that I needed to do for God, because you can't just tell me I do a sinner's prayer and you are going to love me and grace me. So every time, every day, until I found a church, I kept repeating the sinner's prayer, just in case I sinned, just in case I did something that offended God. And I can tell you, till right now, I still repeat it. Every time it takes me back to that day. So I walk with, I don't know who I am, but I am the grace of God. I don't know why he can choose after everything I've done, after everything I've gone through. I don't understand the kind of God who can have so much mercy and love for me. And this is grace right here. This is God's mercy, pity. If you can call it pity, he pitied me
Mm-hmm.
because I was a helpless ego who would have died
Mm-hmm.
if that hadn't happened.
Well,
Absolutely.
who or what led you to that particular verse, 1 Peter 2:9?
Everything that I went through, I felt like because of God's mercy and grace, he took me out of a pit of hell. He
Mm-hmm.
took me from being trash. He took me from all the names people had called me: a prostitute, a liar, a drunkard, an alcoholic. I was barely a nobody. So the darkness, that was my darkness. And I was sitting on a lot of secrets that people don't know. I just couldn't tell that, oh, I went through this. So when I got saved and I started sharing bit by bit, every time I shared, it was kind of a burden being taken off me. It was like, oh, it's not a secret anymore. I'm no longer in darkness with this fact. And ending up with that topic, it was like, if I can tell it out loud without crying, without feeling sorry for myself, for someone else to understand, then definitely I'm in lightness. I am a light right now.
Mm-hmm. What would you
Yeah.
say to someone who is in those same circumstances? They get a copy of this book. Why should they buy this book and why should they read it? What do you hope they get from it?
Value. We are all valuable. We can't be loved by everybody, but there is one person who ultimately loves us inside out, no matter our mistakes, and that's God. He knew us. The Bible says he knew us even when we were still in the womb of our mothers. And he wrote our entire life. So he knew the mistakes that we will make. And even with those mistakes, he still loves us. He doesn't judge us the way people judge us. He doesn't label us the way people label us. Don't wait. Don't feel ashamed because of what you've gone through. Don't be embarrassed because of what you are going through. Don't wait until it's too late. Like I waited and I survived domestic violence until things turn out the wrong way for you to change. You have every right to walk away because you are valuable, you are wanted, you are deserved, and we were all created for a purpose and a reason. Each and every one of us has a purpose to be in this world.
The name of the book is Darkness to Light, 1 Peter 2:9. It's available on Amazon. Thanks so much for joining us, Linet. And we would hope that everybody who gets this book will learn valuable lessons, that they are valued, that they are loved, and you have a lot to do with that. And that's a great witness on your part. So thanks for joining us today. And
Thank you so much for having me.
that's my pleasure. And thank you, folks, for spending a few minutes with us on the Global Book Network. I'm Paul Ryden. We'll see you next time.